One can be a bully at school or in a neighborhood and simply get away with it. But when you try being a bully in the world of martial arts, that can be as dangerous as poking a sleeping bear with a stick. The internet personality Sneako learned that the hard way when he called a whole martial arts community autistic people.
Jiu-Jitsu is for autistic people.
Which later resulted in him entering the cage with the wrong guy. From trying to bully world champions and insult entire communities to messing with the wrong guys and learning how instant karma feels firsthand, this is the Sneako saga as an MMA bully. For those unfamiliar with Sneako, he is an influencer and boxer wannabe. Does that ring a bell? Perhaps you recall Charlie Zelenoff, a guy who trained in boxing and tried to bully people at different gyms. Sneako is like a more charming version of him. The influencer gained prominence in the MMA community when he stepped into the cage to spar with Sean Strickland, a topic we'll delve into shortly. But before that, Sneako displayed his bullying behavior by targeting and mocking Mikey Musumeci. Now, Mikey doesn't fit the typical fighter stereotype of being big and intimidating. His appearance is more akin to that of a computer geek or a school nerd who never missed a class. However, he is a prime example of why you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Musumeci is an elite submission grappler and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt competitor. Musumeci, a 4-time world champion and Pan American champion in colored belts, has achieved 5 IBJJF black belt world championship titles and is the first American to secure more than 1 IBJJF world title at the black belt level. Mikey is currently under contract with one championship, where he reigns as the flyweight submission grappling champion. On October 7, 2023, Musumeci was matched against his idol Shinya Aoki in an opening weight grappling match. Aoki is a submission wizard with 60 MMA bouts under his belt. However, the young and hungry Mikey pulled off a nasty inside heel hook submission, securing a victory over the man he looked up to. This is where Sneako stepped in to react to Mikey's post-fight speech. As Musumeci was giving an emotional speech about how much it meant to him to share the ring with someone who inspired him, Sneako used that opportunity to bully not only him, but the entire jiu-jitsu community. He said that jiu-jitsu is for autistic people and made fun of how Musumeci speaks and acts. Sneako added that Mikey looks like Mark Zuckerberg and that people like him shouldn't be winning.
It's called an Aoki lock. It's a modified heel hook, but
Jiu-Jitsu is for autistic people.
what I think a master of jiu-jitsu is somebody that inspires another generation.
Jiu-Jitsu, I swear, this is why I like striking. This is so...
And this is a competition where you just, it's an art and it's an art form, and I learned from the master.
He looks like Mark Zuckerberg. He shouldn't be winning.
So that's like a master to student. He's an idol of mine for being 40.
It's like a master to the student. This is a leg heel lock.
He's saying he would make me tap. He probably would. He probably would.
Mikey Musumeci is known as one of the nicest human beings in the sport, so one would wonder why Sneako would target someone like him. Who knows, but Sneako does that all the time. However, little did he know that Mikey can quickly switch gears when confronting bullies, and this is what he had to say about it.
Today I'm going to talk about bullies. Bullies are weak people that make fun of others around them, to give themselves relevance and to make themselves feel good. They pick on the differences of humans, which is the most beautiful part of humans, their uniqueness. I really don't like bullies, guys.
And of course, he puts Sneako in that category of people who go after those who appear inferior, as a predator who targets wounded prey.
And there's this guy named Sneako making fun of me, making fun of my friend, making fun of jiu-jitsu. He calls himself a boxer. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. Let's have an MMA fight. I challenge Sneako to an MMA fight. I'm going to shut his mouth and I'm going to take the bully's lunch money.
Sneako responded to the call out, but his conditions for entering an MMA cage with Mikey seemed a little weird.
Mikey Musumeci, fine. I accept your offer. I will fight you in MMA. Under one condition, because you accused me of being a bully, I called you a Mark Zuckerberg lookalike, and I've never seen a world champion accuse somebody with no experience of being a bully. But I accept. I understand why you're upset. One condition, because I don't need the money, I'm an active income. You need to tell your sparring partner and your lookalike, Mark Zuckerberg, to have a 1-hour conversation with me about who controls the world, and then I'll fight you.
From a tough guy who patronized Mikey, Sneako turned defensive, even acting as a victim. The drama didn't stop there, as Joe Rogan himself casually referred to Sneako as a bully.
I gotta imagine his knee is ruined for the rest of his life.
Was it
See if you can find that video, because it's so hard to watch. Because we were talking about Mikey before.
Yeah.
Because he's calling out some dude who's a bully.
Before we move on and see how Nate Diaz introduced Sneako to the autistic art of jiu-jitsu, let's take a quick look at who this influencer is. Sneako embarked on his YouTube journey by streaming games like Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and gained fame in a 2015 video titled How People View You, where he discussed how individuals desire to be perceived publicly. In 2018, he briefly joined Mr. Beast's crew but soon departed. He later found significant success with his street interview series 1 Minute Interviews. However, his fortunes took a turn when he began endorsing red pill ideologies promoted by controversial figures such as Andrew Tate. After figuring guests like Nick Fuentes, the former leader of the now-defunct neo-Nazi group Identity Evropa, expressing support for Matt Walsh's contentious documentary What is a Woman, and insulting a female YouTuber, Sneako was banned from YouTube in October 2022. Twitch followed suit with a ban the next day, leading him to stream on Rumble. Despite a decline in viewership due to multiple bans, he remains active on social media, collaborating with influencers like Bradley Martin. People like Sneako would insult and degrade other people so they could gain popularity. That's how people like him become famous. But the thing is, the MMA world is the last place one would like to try his bullying tactics to gain popularity. And who was this knight in shining armor trying to teach Sneako a lesson? The one and only Sean Strickland. In the world of mixed martial arts, Sean Strickland is known as a guy who you don't want to mess with. He is known as someone who doesn't hold anything back during sparring, no matter if you're a professional or it's your first day on the mats. The unfortunate Sneako learned this the hard way. Fresh to the world of MMA, Sneako had no idea what he was getting himself into when he accepted a sparring session with Strickland. As soon as the door closed, it was clear that Sneako was out of Sean's depth. He looked like a level 3 player taking on a level 90 dragon in Skyrim. For the first few minutes, Strickland toyed with Sneako, showing him how inferior he is by letting him land punches on him with no effect whatsoever. But it wasn't just Sean's physical prowess that was intimidating. Strickland also verbally bullied Sneako, taunting him with every move, letting the bully know what it feels like to be bullied. The UFC fighter provoked the influencer to get out of his shell.
Let's see the influencer. Let's see the influencer.
Strickland hates social media and influencers in general, so this felt a bit personal for him.
But as you're realizing, you're about to have a really bad fucking day in the next minute.
Sneako was throwing combinations left and right, but trying to catch Strickland with some of those was the same as trying to break steel with a glass hammer. Sean kept mocking the social media star with sarcasm and laughing at his face, and poor Sneako kept trying so hard to do something significant. During the first 3 minutes of the sparring session, Strickland seemed almost to taunt the influencer, refraining from throwing punches and instead delivering a patronizing commentary on Sneako's toughness, particularly noting it for an influencer. Then, Sean Strickland unleashed a relentless barrage of punches on Sneako. Despite the numerous white towels being thrown into the cage, indicating a desire to stop the fight, Strickland either failed to notice or chose to ignore them, continuing his assault. Sneako, to his credit, managed to stay on his feet until Forrest Griffin intervened. In the end, Sneako was left battered and bruised, his confidence shattered, but for Strickland, it was just another day at the gym. The Sneako saga was not over, as he found himself on the mats with Nate Diaz, a UFC star and the real OG of the fight game. The Stockton native was happy to introduce Sneako to the autistic art of jiu-jitsu, who looked like a fish out of water. Bullying is an issue that can manifest in various environments, from schools to workplaces and even the world of martial arts. While some may view bullying as a harmless act of teasing or intimidation, its impact can be profound and lasting, especially when it occurs in a setting like mixed martial arts. In MMA, where physical prowess and mental toughness are paramount, bullies can often find themselves facing swift and harsh consequences for their actions. The story of Sneako, an internet personality turned MMA bully, serves as a stark reminder of this reality. Sneako's journey from bully to being bullied again when he made derogatory comments about the BJJ community, referring to them as autistic people. This disrespectful remark not only offended many, but also ignited a chain of events that would ultimately lead to his own downfall. When Sneako targeted Musumeci, he not only attacked an individual, but also insulted an entire community. Musumeci's response, challenging Sneako to an MMA fight, highlighted the importance of standing up to bullies and defending oneself against unjust attacks. Furthermore, Sneako's actions drew criticism from notable figures in the MMA world, including Joe Rogan, who labeled him as a bully. And of course, Strickland's relentless barrage of punches left Sneako battered and bruised, serving as a powerful lesson in humility and respect. In the end, Sneako's story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of bullying, especially in a competitive and physically demanding environment like MMA. It reminds us that respect, both for one and others, is essential in all aspects of life, including sports. Thanks for your time. Please like and give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next one.